What's going on, guys? We are in Wytheville, Virginia today. We're going to do a walkthrough review video on this 30 by 70 by 12 vertical metal building installed on a concrete slab. This one includes 14 windows, 2 man doors, a garage door opening, rat guard trim, corner trim, you name it. We're going to take a look at everything on this building. It's really special. It's going to be turned into a home. Let's check it out. Alright guys, on this front side we have 2 black windows, 1 double door opening, which the customer then added the walk-in door. We have box sleeve trim where the building ends, box sleeve trim where the roof line ends, and the customer also chose to go with 2 frame mounts on either side of the porch area. That way the leg post would not interfere and he'd have a clear open span space. Alright guys, stepping into the interior space, as you can see we have the 30 wide trusses, which include the welded members on the truss itself. It is a clear span structure, so that means no leg posts interfere in the interior of the space. We actually have 2 header bars welded on either side of the building, and that was for 2 reasons. 1, to eliminate the leg post that would be considered 5 foot on center. And the second reason was to accommodate the customer's windows to the exact window placement that he needed based on his floor plan. This customer designed his own floor plan, and he's going to turn it into a home, like I said. To our left here, he will turn the space into a living room. Right side will be a kitchen. To the interior of the building, there will be a hallway, and then that's where you get your separate rooms. I believe this customer has 2 rooms, a master one, and then a guest bedroom. The far end, he intends to use that as a man cave and just a big open space. And on the back side, you see another walk-in door. That one, he wanted it to walk into his back porch, which we'll get to in a second. The next thing we'll talk about is the windows. So this is the living room space, and the customer was unsure of where he wanted the windows, the placement, the size, and how many. So we kind of worked together to figure out if he wanted 1 continuous window or 3 separate windows, and that's important because, as you can see on the roof, the trusses, the leg post would have fallen right here and right here. So right here it would be interfering with this window. So what we did, again, like I mentioned, the header bar, what we did was we welded on both sides. That way the weight can distribute to this leg post and to this leg post. He opted to go for 3 individual windows, and the spacing of his choice, he chose to go about 6 inches from each other. So that's exactly what we did. Right now we're in the kitchen area. As you can see, this customer did his plumbing that went underground. And so again, just to mention how important the placement of the windows was, as you can see that truss right there, the leg post was actually supposed to fall right here. So we worked with this customer one-on-one to make sure that that wouldn't happen whenever we were constructing the building on site, and that all of his windows were placed exactly where he wanted them to be. In this case, the customer wanted to go with vertical walls, which is an upgrade. When we do vertical walls, we do add this perpendicular member that we're deciding on the outside to be bolted inward to that channel. You can see it here, and it goes all around the building. Zooming into the kitchen space, this is something that we have done in the past, and obviously we did with this project, where the plumbing for a sink or something in the kitchen is in the way of the base rail. So what we did here, we just cut a notch in that base rail, and two things. One, it doesn't hurt the structural integrity of the building, and two, it will not hurt when you need the building to be passed by inspection. This customer chose to do an 8-foot wide by 7-foot tall garage door opening, and what he intends to do with this space, he wants to do a garage door with windows that is automatic. And the reason for that is he wants this space to be a man cave, so he could add a ping pong table, a pool table, you name it. So that's the reason for this, bigger than average size door opening. And this is the back porch. The back porch is exactly identical as to the front porch, with having the two frame mounts on the both sides for a clear span space. Box sleeve on the main building, box sleeve where the roof line is, and you have two windows on this back side. The customer wanted to allow for some natural light from the top to the bottom to come in through, so that's why we did that. A very important detail to note is when it comes to, on this build, the corner trim. So the corner trim, as you can see, goes all the way to the top of the building at the very corner of the eave. Our guys had to cut that trim so that that piece puncturing through the main building, so you wouldn't have a break in that trim. So what we did was we had to cut that trim, bend it, stick it in where the header bar goes, and added some black silicone to make it look more uniform. And those are just some of the obstacles that we have to take into consideration, whether it's in the office or on the field. And we'll work with you one-on-one to make sure that those issues are resolved and that you like the product of the way we do things. One of the details that's really important when it comes to vertical siding is the rad guard trim. Rad guard trim, the way we typically make it is we start with 2 inches behind the metal sheeting. Depending on your concrete slab what it is, but normally it's 2 inch or 1.5 inch of step and down another inch. In this case, we had to do that rad guard a little bit differently. The customer's county required him to provide insulation board since it's going to be used for a home. So that's exactly what he did on the exterior of the pad. And so that rad guard trim now has to cover the 3 inches of concrete on that step, the 1.5 inches of the foam board, and it has to come down. So the whole thing has to be covered in the Virginia code. And that's something that the county is sometimes picky, sometimes not. You just kind of have to work with them. And if you don't know, that's fine. We're here to help. If that rad guard needs to be a custom dimension, different than this or anything else, that's what we're here for. We're here to help. Just let one of our guys know, hey, I might need some custom trim, and we'll work with you one-on-one. Some of the smaller details are sometimes based on the customer's preferences. For example, right here, this customer, since he's going to be using it for a home, he wanted a little bit more protective, a better seal in between the base rail and the concrete slab. So he went out and purchased base rail sealant, about a 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, so that he could get a tighter seal between those two materials. So that's just kind of something to think about. Do you care to have that base rail sit right on the concrete, or do you want some type of protective film over it? And that will conclude our video for today, guys, on this 30x70 with a 30x50 foot enclosed portion metal building. It's the first one that we do as a home, and we hope to be back in the fall of this year. Right now we are in June of 2024. Hopefully by fall, winter 2024, this customer will have some more progress on the interior of the building, and to see how he dresses it up. And we can't wait to see what this customer has in mind for this building. But for now, this is all we have. If you have any questions about the building itself, any of the window placements that we talked about, the door placements, the garage door placements, how big you need to go, what colors, let us know what we can help with. Or we're just one click away, or one phone call away. Just let us know what we can help with, and we'll see you on the next one.